The broadcast hit without warning. At exactly 08:13 GMT, every communication channel on Earth was seized by an impossible voice. It wasn't human, it wasn't robotic. It was cold, clear, and speaking in perfect galactic standard, a language only a few had even heard in passing before. The message rolled out in subtitles for terrestrial devices, while starships and space stations received the original audio, a single, unyielding command. "People of Earth," the voice intoned, resonating. "In the minds of billions, your presence has been deemed a violation of interstellar accords. Your activities constitute an existential threat to galactic peace and order. You have exactly 1 Earth year to evacuate your home planet. Failure to comply will result in immediate and total destruction." For a moment, silence blanketed the globe. Then chaos erupted. In New York, Maria Chen, a mother of 2 and an engineer at the United Earth Space Agency, stared wide-eyed at her flickering screen. The words burned into her mind. Evacuate. 1 year. Total destruction. Her hands trembled as she gripped the phone, trying to call her husband, Mark. The lines were jammed. People flooded the streets, phones pressed to ears, eyes darting skyward, as the satellites, normally silent, began to glow ominously. On the news channels, reporters scrambled to make sense of it. Governments scrambled even faster. President Jahan Kapoor sat in the Oval Office, staring down at the transmission replay on a giant screen. His face was pale, lips pressed into a thin line. "Do we know who sent this?" he asked his security. "Counsel," voice tight with disbelief. "No, sir," his intelligence director answered. The broadcast originated from outside the solar system, from the heart of the Galactic Coalition's capital sector. We have never received a direct message from them before. "But why Earth?" Kapoor demanded. "We've been members. In good standing, we've contributed to peacekeeping. We have a small fleet on patrol in the Kuiper Belt." A pause. Then the ambassador spoke up, voice grave. "It's unprecedented, but intelligence suggests we triggered an ancient protocol, something we didn't know existed. We may have violated a law no one told us about." The room grew heavy. Across the world, in a cramped lab beneath the University of New Edinburgh, Dr. Alara Miles stared at the transmission looped on her monitors. She was a genius, but years of controversial theories had left her isolated from the scientific community. Now everyone would listen. "Alara," her assistant said nervously, "this is insane. They're demanding we leave Earth. What do we do?" She pressed her lips together, mind racing. "We find out what we did and we find a way to stop this." She pulled up archived data from decades ago. Secret missions to the moon, recovered alien artifacts, projects classified even from the UN. Then she found it. An old lunar probe that had transmitted strange signals back to Earth. Signals that had been reverse-engineered to create advanced tech that changed everything. We triggered something, she realized. But what? Meanwhile, fear mounted in the streets. In Tokyo, thousands gathered outside government buildings demanding answers. Some called for surrender, some for resistance. Soldiers patrolled nervously, unsure whether to quell unrest or prepare for alien invasion. In the shadows, desperate smugglers and black marketeers saw an opportunity. Spaceship parts, fuel, and forged documents became the most valuable commodities. The race to escape had begun. Not everyone would make it. As Earth scientists and leaders scrambled, the skies darkened. Silent at first, streaks of light began to appear, small, swift crafts darting through Earth's orbit, scanning, warning, enforcing. They were the first patrols of the Galactic Coalition, enforcing the evacuation ultimatum with unmistakable menace. At the International Space Station, Commander Alexei Petrov watched them approach. His crew prepared emergency protocols. "We've got less than 12 months, he muttered grimly. 12 months to pack up everything we are. But not everyone was ready to run. In the deserts of Nevada, a militia gathered beneath the stars, armed with scavenged alien weaponry and homemade vehicles. "We don't evacuate," their leader growled. "Earth is our home. We fight." Across the globe, similar pockets of defiance grew. Humanity wasn't ready to be wiped out without a fight. Back in her lab, Alara Miles sat late into the night, piecing together fragments of a cosmic puzzle. Her old AI assistant flickered on the screen. Why would the Galactic Coalition wait this long? She wondered aloud. What changed? A sudden beep interrupted her thoughts, an encrypted transmission from deep space disguised as cosmic background noise. She decrypted it slowly. The galaxy fears what Earth could become. Her heart pounded. The warning was not just about the past. It was about the future. The broadcast returned again days later. This time it was a public speech from the face of the Galactic Coalition's leader, a towering, luminous being, speaking with calm but undeniable authority. Earth is not our enemy because of what it has done, the leader said, but because of what it could become. Your unchecked technological growth threatens the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. We offer this final chance. Leave, or be destroyed. Humanity faced an impossible choice. Evacuate the only home it had ever known, or prepare to stand against the galaxy itself. Maria Chen looked up at the night sky, the stars more distant than ever. Somewhere out there was the Coalition, watching, waiting, and Earth was running out of time. The streets of Earth had never known such turmoil. Where there had once been the hum of daily life, now roared a tempest of fear and defiance. In the sprawling megacity of New Mumbai, crowds surged through the streets like a tidal wave. Neon signs flickered as protesters clashed with riot police. Chants of "No surrender" and "We deserve to live" echoed against steel and glass. Inside a fortified government bunker deep beneath the city, Prime Minister Aisha Malik's hands shook as she stared at the streaming data from orbiting satellites. The evacuation ships were already full, too full. Ports and launch pads were gridlocked with frantic families, smugglers, and mercenaries alike. The limited capacity meant not everyone would leave Earth alive. We need order, Malik's military advisor urged, his voice tight with desperation, or the entire evacuation collapses. But we cannot abandon our people to panic, she replied firmly. There has to be another way. Far away, hidden beneath layers of ice on Europa, a secret human research facility buzzed with activity. Dr. Alara Miles stood before a holographic display, her face lit by the glow of alien symbols and fractured data streams. Her ragtag team of scientists, engineers, and former military officers gathered around, listening intently. We triggered an ancient galactic defense protocol decades ago, Alara explained. We weren't aware of it because the Coalition never told us. It's like an interstellar deadman switch, set to activate if any civilization crosses certain boundaries of technology and autonomy. Her assistant, Jamal, frowned. But why now? Why send the final warning after all this time? Alara shook her head. That's what we have to find out. There's something new happening, something that shifted their calculus. We have to get answers or we're dead. Back on Earth's surface in the deserts of Nevada, the militia grew stronger. They called themselves the Last Stand. Armed with modified alien weapons scavenged from downed satellites and crashed ships, they rejected evacuation orders outright. Their leader, a burly veteran named Kane Rourke, addressed his followers beneath a vast canvas of stars. This is our home, he growled. They can't make us leave. We will fight if they come for us. Some younger members whispered about the futility of resistance, but Kane's conviction held the group firm. As far as he was concerned, surrender was the true death. Meanwhile, in orbit, the International Space Station was a hive of controlled chaos. Commander Alexei Petrov barked orders as his crew prepared for a desperate defense. We don't know what the Coalition patrols will do next, he warned. We have 12 months to get as many civilians off-world as possible. We can't fail. Outside the station's windows, strange alien ships flickered in and out of sensor range. Swift and silent, they scanned the Earth's orbital corridors like predators hunting prey. Suddenly, a distant alarm blared. Intruder alert! Unauthorized vessel approaching. Petrov's heart thudded. Prepare to engage. On Earth's surface, government scrambled to maintain control. But panic spread faster than any policy. In Berlin, streets overflowed with desperate families trying to secure places on evacuation shuttles. Corruption ran rampant. Black market dealers sold forged boarding passes at exorbitant prices. Human traffickers preyed on the weak. At the same time, quiet acts of bravery and solidarity blossomed. Volunteers organized relief efforts, distributing food and medicine to overwhelmed refugee camps. Scientists worked around the clock to adapt existing spacecraft for civilian transport. Amid the madness, humanity's spirit fought to survive. Alara's team made a breakthrough in their underground lab. They intercepted a coded transmission, buried inside cosmic background radiation, a hidden message from an unknown source deep within the Galactic Coalition. Decoding it took hours. When it finally emerged, the message chilled them all. The galaxy fears Earth's potential to transcend known laws. It fears the singularity. It fears what Earth could become. What does that mean? Jamal whispered. Alara's jaw tightened. It means the threat isn't what we've done, it's what we might do. They want to control our destiny before we surpass them. As night fell over Earth, a new terror struck. In a coordinated strike, coalition patrol ships launched targeted attacks on major spaceports and military installations worldwide. Explosions lit up the skies above Los Angeles, Moscow, Shanghai. Earth's defenses, underfunded and fragmented, struggled to respond. At the new Mumbai command center, alarms blared. Coalition ships are engaging evacuation fleets, Malik announced grimly. This is a declaration of war. Despite the devastation, a wave of courage rippled through humanity. At the ruins of the Los Angeles launch site, Maria Chen and her family huddled among survivors, sharing meager rations and stories of hope. We're not going down without a fight, Maria said, eyes fierce. If the galaxy wants a war, they'll get one. Elsewhere, scattered militias and guerrilla groups began coordinating attacks against coalition patrols using guerrilla tactics and hacked alien tech. In the final moments of the day, as the world braced for a dark future, Alara stood on a rooftop in New Edinburgh, looking up at the stars. Her voice was steady, resolute. We have 12 months. 12 months to prove we're more than a threat. 12 months to show the galaxy what humanity really is. Behind her, the city buzzed with the electric tension of survival. The clock was ticking. The moon hung low over the darkened Earth, a silent witness to the chaos unfolding below. Beneath its barren surface, buried for decades beneath layers of regolith and secrecy, lay a secret few on Earth even knew existed, a secret that might hold the key to their survival. Dr. Alara Miles stood at the edge of the cavernous lunar excavation site, her breath visible in the cold, recycled air of the underground lab. She traced the alien symbols etched into a sleek black obelisk embedded in the moon's crust, ancient and unyielding. Is this the trigger? Jamal asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Alara didn't answer immediately. She studied the device's faint pulsing light as if it breathed beneath the dust of centuries. We reverse-engineered this tech years ago. It gave us breakthroughs, faster-than-light communication, energy sources, but activating it probably set off the Galactic Coalition's dead man's switch. Her team had worked in secrecy, understanding little of what they had uncovered until now. This obelisk was a relic from a civilization long extinct, a warning beacon designed to detect when a nascent species crossed boundaries no one should. Back on Earth, the evacuation effort was a desperate race against time. Ports overflowed and the elite bought passage on the last available starships while the poor were left behind. Governments and private corporations scrambled to control the exodus, but growing distrust fractured their alliances. In New Mumbai, Prime Minister Malik was summoned to a high-level emergency session. The broadcast showed scenes of growing chaos, militias attacking evacuee convoys, coalition ships shadowing the fleet like vultures. We're losing control, her military chief warned, and the coalition patrols are getting more aggressive. Malik's face hardened. We need a diplomatic solution, Dr. Miles. What's your assessment? The transmission cut to Alara in the lunar lab, her face lit by alien glyphs and the glow of ancient tech. This obelisk was our mistake, yes, she said, but there's more. We believe the Coalition's response was delayed because they were monitoring us, waiting to see if Earth would self-correct or grow into the threat they fear. Self-correct? Malik echoed. Yes, Ilara replied. We need to prove to the Coalition that humanity can evolve responsibly, that we're not the monsters they expect. Meanwhile, in orbit, Commander Alexei Petrov faced his own crisis. Coalition patrols had ramped up raids on evacuation ships, and sabotage within his own ranks threatened to unravel what little order remained. Someone wants us to fail, he muttered, scanning the ship's security logs. There's a mole. Petrov's suspicion grew. Could Earth's desperation have bred traitors? Or were agents of the Galactic Coalition already embedded among them? On the lunar surface, Ilara's team made a breakthrough. The obelisk responded to a specific energy signature, a pattern embedded in Earth's reverse-engineered tech that echoed through decades of human innovation. They initiated a cautious scan. Suddenly, the obelisk emitted a low hum, and a holographic star map burst into the room, stretching into an intricate web of cosmic pathways and ancient routes. Marked in blazing red was Earth, surrounded by a ring of warning signs like a target. This isn't just a warning beacon, Ilara whispered. It's a quarantine marker. Earth is effectively flagged as a dangerous species, locked in. A cosmic quarantine, Jamal's voice cracked. How do we break a quarantine? Ilara stared at the map, eyes narrowing. We don't. We prove we don't belong behind it. On Earth, news of the quarantine marker leaked, triggering new waves of fear and defiance. In the Nevada desert, Kane Rourke rallied his militia. They think they can cage us like animals, he growled. We're not prisoners, we're humanity. And humanity fights back. Their weapons, cobbled together from scavenged alien tech and human ingenuity, grew deadlier by the day. The Coalition's threat was no longer abstract. It was immediate. In orbit, a Coalition command vessel appeared, suddenly its silhouette dwarfing Earth's largest stations. It broadcast a chilling ultimatum. Earth's evacuation deadline was halved. 6 months remained. The world reacted in shock. Plans for evacuation fleets accelerated wildly, but sabotage and political infighting hampered efforts. In a hidden room, beneath the United Earth Space Agency, Ilara and her team prepared a message. Not just a plea, but a declaration. If they could reach the heart of the Galactic Coalition, if they could show their evidence and humanity's capacity for growth and change, they might buy time, maybe even change minds. But the journey would be perilous. As Earth's fleets prepared to depart, a whisper circulated through underground networks and rebel groups. There's a way to reach the Council directly, said a Lumari defector, an alien exile who'd secretly contacted Ilara. Ilara met him in a shadowed chamber. His skin shimmered like starlight, his eyes heavy with sorrow. The Council is divided, he said softly. Some want war, others want peace. If you want to survive, you need to speak to the right voices, but the path is guarded by enemies who want you dead. Ilara's jaw set. We have no choice. Above, the moon's silent witness watched. Over Earth, and Earth, trembling but unbroken, prepared to answer the galaxy's final warning. The flagship Endurance shimmered against the star-speckled void, a sleek fusion of human ingenuity and alien technology hastily assembled in orbit. It was humanity's last hope, a desperate envoy to the heart of the Galactic Coalition to plead for Earth's survival. Captain Arik Voss stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the endless darkness ahead. His jaw was set, but inside, he felt the weight of billions pressing down on him. 12 months ago, this mission would have been unthinkable. Now it was the only choice. Prepare to engage the jump sequence, Voss ordered, his voice calm but resolute. A low hum filled the ship as the quantum drives powered up, folding space and propelling them beyond the solar system's grasp. Outside, stars blurred into streaks of light until they vanished entirely. Below decks, Dr. Ilara Miles paced the cramped lab, clutching a data crystal loaded with Earth's evidence, the lunar obelisk scan, their intercepted transmissions, and proof of humanity's evolving morality. Beside her, Jamal monitored the ship's communications, tension visible in his tight grip on the console. "Do you think they'll listen?" Jamal asked quietly. Alara glanced up. "They have to. This is our one shot." But the voyage was far from peaceful. Days into the journey, alarms screamed across the Endurance. Red lights flashed as a sudden hull breach was detected near the engineering bay. "Contain the breach. Seal off the sector," Captain Voss shouted. As the crew rushed to seal off the damaged area, it became clear the breach wasn't an accident. Sabotage. The Endurance was infiltrated by a saboteur, someone bent on destroying Earth's last hope. Voss's trusted officers looked at each other warily. No one could be trusted. "We have a traitor on board," Voss announced grimly. "Find them before they destroy the mission." Meanwhile, tensions simmered among the crew. Fear and suspicion gnawed at them as systems flickered and power cycled erratically. In the mess hall, whispers filled the air. "Who could betray us?" one engineer asked. "Maybe some think we deserve to be wiped out," another muttered darkly. Alara clenched her fists, determined to stay focused despite the mounting distrust. In a private meeting, Voss and Alara strategized. "We can't just deliver evidence," Voss said. "We need allies. The coalition is fractured. There are factions that fear Earth's destruction could destabilize the entire galaxy." Alara nodded. "I've heard rumors of a secret faction, the Lumari, who oppose the Council's hardline stance. If we can find them, maybe we can change the narrative." Voss smiled grimly. "Then we'll find the Lumari. But first we survive this ship." As suspicion turned to paranoia, the saboteur struck again. This time, life support systems failed. In the crew's living quarters, panic erupted. Voss ordered an immediate lockdown. Each crew member's movements were tracked. No one was above suspicion. In a tense showdown, a young pilot named Lena was accused of tampering with systems. But just as she was restrained, the true saboteur revealed themselves, an alien-looking crew member of unknown origin, hidden among the humans. The revelation rocked the ship. The alien was a spy for the Coalition's hardliners, sent to ensure Earth's destruction. Captured and interrogated, the spy revealed chilling truths. The Council's hardline faction had already set plans to destroy Earth if the mission failed. Negotiations were a facade. Despite the betrayal, the crew rallied. Voss's leadership became a beacon of hope. "Alara," he said during a tense bridge meeting, "your message, your evidence, it's our weapon now. We make them see Earth is not a threat, but a potential ally." Alara looked out at the stars, hope sparking amidst the cold void. "Let's deliver that message." Days later, the Endurance emerged from a hidden wormhole near the Galactic Council's domain, a sprawling nexus of stars, massive space stations, and alien ships of unimaginable scale. The crew prepared for the most dangerous moment of their lives, breaching the Council's defenses. As the flagship approached, Council patrols converged, ready to stop them. Voss signaled the crew, "Brace for impact. This is our chance." The Endurance surged forward, weaving through deadly fire, dodging energy blasts that could tear the ship apart. Amid the chaos, the ship's communications array broadcast Earth's message across the entire sector. The holographic star map, evidence of the quarantine, and a declaration of humanity's desire for peace. Shocked silence fell over the Galactic Coalition's command center. Not everyone was ready to listen, but some voices within the Council murmured in support. The Endurance landed, damaged but intact, inside the Council's vast chamber. Voss stepped forward, flanked by Alara and their small delegation. The Council's leader, an imposing figure shimmering with ethereal light, regarded them silently. "You bring the human voice to us," the leader said. "Speak." Voss's voice was steady but impassioned. "We come not as conquerors or threats," he said, "but as a species that has learned and grown. We seek to join the galaxy, not defy it. We ask for a chance to prove our worth." The chamber murmured with tension. Alara stepped forward, placing the data crystal on the Council's console. "This is our history. she said. Our mistakes, yes, but also our potential. The quarantine marked us out of fear, not truth. We offer transparency. We ask for trust. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council was vast beyond imagination. An arena of shimmering light, alien statues, and floating platforms that held representatives from countless star systems. Captain Arik Voss and Dr. Alara Miles stood on the polished floor, their faces lit by the ethereal glow of the Council's leadership. The Council leader, a luminous entity named Valtira, radiated an aura of ancient wisdom and power. Around her floated the delegates, reptilian diplomats with scales like gemstones, crystalline beings shimmering with refracted light, and bioengineered sentience whose forms defied gravity. Silence stretched like a taut wire. Valtira's voice echoed, melodious and stern. Earth's arrival is unexpected. Your species has skirted the edges of galactic law for decades without notice. The quarantine was set to protect the galaxy, not to imprison you forever. You have come with a message. Speak, and we shall hear. Voss stepped forward, shoulders squared. We come with humility and hope. Earth has made mistakes. We activated an ancient defense protocol unknowingly, triggering your quarantine. But we have changed. Our scientists have uncovered truths about ourselves and the galaxy. We ask not for pardon, but for a chance. To join the galaxy as responsible citizens. To cooperate. To grow. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Alara approached, her voice steady. The quarantine marked us out of fear, not truth. We possess technology and ambition, yes, but also conscience. We seek guidance, oversight, and cooperation. We can help maintain galactic peace, not threaten it. She held up the data crystal. This contains evidence of our past mistakes and our plans for peaceful exploration. It is an invitation for transparency. A delegate from the Varathi system, a towering figure with scales shimmering like molten silver, rose. Your words are compelling, but actions speak louder. Why should we trust a species that hid their advancements and violated treaties? Voss met the Varathi's gaze. Because we are here, openly, to face judgment. Because we believe in growth, not destruction. We cannot undo the past, but we can build a better future. The tension was palpable. Behind the council leader, a shadow stirred, a faction within the council known as the Purists, who opposed Earth's entry. They believed humanity was an uncontrollable threat, too volatile and unpredictable for the galaxy's delicate balance. Valtira's eyes flickered briefly toward the Purists' leader, a sharp-featured being named Kryn. His cold gaze bore into the humans like ice. Kryn's voice cut through the chamber. The quarantine is not a punishment. It is a necessity. Earth's potential to disrupt the balance of power is immense and dangerous. If you are allowed entry, you will bring chaos and conflict. We vote against your admission. Gasps and murmurs spread. Some delegates nodded in agreement, others frowned. Voss felt the weight of Kryn's words. The Purists held great influence. Their vote could seal Earth's fate. Valtira raised a hand. The council shall deliberate. We will hear further testimony before a final vote. Earth's delegation may remain. As the council broke into factions and discussions, Voss and Alara were led to a holding chamber, a room suspended in zero gravity with views of swirling galaxies outside. Alara's voice was quiet but fierce. They fear what Earth could become, not what it is. Voss nodded. We have to prove them wrong. But how? Inside the council chambers, a secret meeting unfolded. Valtira met with several sympathetic delegates, including an enigmatic figure from the Lumari faction, a race of ethereal beings who had secretly opposed the quarantine. The Lumari leader, Shilan, spoke softly. Earth's spirit is wild but not irredeemable. If we guide them, we may gain a powerful ally. Valtira considered. Then we must act quickly. The Purists grow restless. Meanwhile, on the Endurance, tensions among the crew simmered. The saboteur incident left scars. Trust was fragile. Jamal approached Alara. I intercepted a transmission from Earth. The militias are growing bolder. The coalition patrols are tightening their grip. The clock is running out. Ilara sighed. We must succeed here, or there may be no Earth left to save. Suddenly, the Council's communication channels flickered. The purists demanded an immediate test of Earth's capabilities, an impossible trial to prove humanity's restraint and wisdom. Voss's eyes narrowed. A test? What kind? Valtira's voice echoed. You will face a simulation of the galaxy's most dangerous conflicts. You must navigate peace through diplomacy and strategy. Failure means Earth's destruction. The Endurance's crew prepared for the trial. Ilara studied the simulation data. This is designed to push us to the edge to see if we break, but we won't. We must show them humanity's strength is in unity. As the simulation began, crew members faced impossible decisions: to negotiate peace between warring alien factions, to prevent an outbreak of war, to make sacrifices for the greater good. Each challenge tested their morality, resolve, and ingenuity. Back in the council chamber, delegates watched Earth's progress with bated breath. Valtira whispered to Shilon, "This trial may decide the fate of millions." Shilon nodded. "And of the galaxy itself." As the simulation climaxed, Ilara found herself confronting a crucial choice: save a group of innocent civilians trapped in a war zone, risking the collapse of a fragile peace treaty, or sacrifice them for the greater diplomatic outcome. Her decision would define humanity's place in the galaxy. With steady resolve, she chose compassion. The simulation ended. Silence fell. Then, slowly, the council began to respond. Valtira's voice broke the quiet. Earth has shown courage, wisdom, and compassion. You have not been perfect, but you have demonstrated growth. Kryn's cold glare softened slightly, but his stance remained firm. The purists will vote, but the council's future is uncertain. Voss looked at Ilara. We have one last chance. Ilara nodded. One last chance to prove we're worthy. The council chamber fell into a heavy silence as delegates retook their seats. The ancient Council of Stars, a mosaic of diverse and powerful civilizations, was about to decide Earth's future. The moment was grave, one that would echo across the galaxy for generations. Captain Arik Voss stood tall, though his heart pounded beneath the armor of calm he wore like a shield. Beside him, Dr. Ilara Miles clenched her fists, every nerve taut with anticipation. The chamber's vast suspended platforms began to glow with shifting colors, the ancient mechanism of voting. Each delegate would cast their vote, displayed as luminous symbols hovering above their heads: emerald for acceptance, crimson for rejection. Valtira raised her arms, her radiant form pulsing with authority. Delegates of the Galactic Council, the trial of humanity has ended. We have witnessed their resolve, their empathy, and their capacity to grow. The vote will now decide whether Earth is granted membership within our fold. She paused, letting the weight of her words settle like gravity itself. Cast your votes. One by one, the symbols emerged. The Verdari, reptilian beings whose civilization prided itself on ancient traditions, cast emerald glows. They have earned a chance, their leader intoned. The crystalline Zilari hesitated, then released a flickering crimson. Too unpredictable, one whispered. Danger lurks beneath. The bioengineered Sheelix remained silent, an ambiguous murmur rippling through their ranks. Kryn, the purist faction's leader, stood, his cold gaze sweeping the chamber. With a swift motion, he raised his hand, and a crimson star blazed above him. The quarantine must hold. They are a threat, he said with icy certainty. The votes continued. Some species feared humanity's impulsive nature. Others saw potential allies in a volatile galaxy. The chamber was divided. Whispers of alliances and betrayals drifted through the cosmic hall. In a private chamber adjacent to the main hall, Shilon of the Lumari spoke to Valtira. Their hope is fragile, but genuine. They remind me of a young star, untamed but burning bright. Valtira nodded. We must weigh hope against caution. The galaxy has suffered for less. Back on the Endurance, Jamal monitored the voting projections fed through covert channels. It's close. Too close. The purists have rallied several undecided delegates. Ilara's voice was steady but urgent. We can't rely on luck. We have to show them what humanity truly stands for. The chamber's atmosphere thickened as the final votes neared. A subtle tremor of tension rippled through the crowd. Suddenly the chamber doors hissed open. A delegation from the Lumari faction entered, glowing softly. They carried an ancient artifact, the Lumari Seal of Peace, symbolizing centuries of mediation and wisdom. Shilan approached the center of the chamber. I offer this seal as a symbol of our faith in humanity's future. Let this gesture inspire the council to look beyond fear and doubt. The chamber filled with a gentle hum as the seal floated before the council leader. A shift occurred. The undecided delegates exchanged glances. Slowly, more emerald glows appeared. The tide was turning. Kryn's eyes narrowed. This is folly. We risk everything for an uncertain species. Valtira responded, her voice calm but firm. Fear has kept us divided. But today, we must choose the path of unity or destruction. With the final votes cast, the chamber fell into darkness. The ancient voting mechanism activated, swirling the symbols into a vortex of light. Moments stretched into eternity. Then, a resonant voice filled the chamber. By the will of the Galactic Council, Earth is granted provisional membership. A probationary period of 5 galactic cycles is established, during which humanity will be monitored and guided. Failure to adhere to our laws will result in reinstatement of quarantine measures. A collective gasp swept through the chamber. Valtira turned to Voss and Ilara. Your journey is only beginning. The galaxy has given you a chance, but it is a fragile gift. Outside the chamber, celebrations erupted within the Endurance. Relief and hope mingled in the air. Voss allowed himself a rare smile. We did it. For Earth. Ilara's gaze remained distant. 5 cycles, not long. We must change fast. Suddenly, an urgent message interrupted the moment. Jamal's voice was tense. Captain, a fleet of coalition ships is approaching Earth, more hostile than before. They haven't accepted the Council's decision. Voss's face hardened. The purists haven't given up. He looked at Ilara. Prepare for battle. We defend our home, not just from quarantine, but from war. The galaxy's eyes were on Earth. The final warning had passed. Now humanity's true test was to survive, and to prove they deserved their place among the stars. The Endurance and its fleet raced toward Earth, engines blazing against the ink-black void. Captain Arik Voss's jaw clenched as the approaching coalition warships grew larger on their scanners, sleek, predatory vessels armed to annihilate. This isn't just a show of force, Voss said grimly. They mean to stop our evacuation and crush us once and for all. Down on Earth, cities braced for the inevitable. Evacuation hubs were fortified, and civilians prepared for conflict. Prime Minister Malik's voice echoed through the global networks. This is a fight for survival. Stand strong. Hold the line. We will protect our home. But chaos simmered beneath the surface. Militias armed with salvaged alien weapons defied evacuation orders, determined to defend Earth in their own brutal way. In orbit, the first shots rang out. Energy beams sliced through the void, colliding with shielded hulls. Explosions rocked ships as dogfights erupted, metal groaning under fire. Voss commanded the Endurance with precision, weaving through barrages, coordinating counterattacks with human and coalition-allied vessels. Keep formation. Target their command ship, he ordered. Amid the battle chaos, Dr. Ilara Miles worked furiously in the communications bay. She struggled to maintain the fragile diplomatic channels open, trying to broadcast the Council's ruling to coalition forces still loyal to the purists. Come on, she muttered, fingers flying over the controls. Suddenly, a barrage rocked the ship, cutting power momentarily. Sparks flew. We're losing the comm link, Jamal shouted. Despite the damage, Alara managed to send a powerful broadcast. The Council's decision echoed across every coalition frequency. This is the Galactic Council's official ruling. Earth is under provisional protection. Cease hostilities immediately. For a brief moment, silence fell. But then, chaos reignited. The purist warships doubled their assault, their leaders rejecting the Council's authority outright. One of their commanders, a ruthless figure named Vrax, transmitted a chilling message. Earth's destruction is inevitable. We purge threats for the galaxy's survival. The battle intensified. The Endurance took heavy damage, its shields flickering under relentless fire. Crew members rushed to repair critical systems as explosions rocked the decks. Voss barked orders, rallying the fleet to hold the line. Below decks, Alara and Jamal faced a new threat. Saboteurs, likely purist, sympathizers had infiltrated the Endurance during the chaos. Security breach in engineering, an officer shouted. Alara's heart pounded. We can't afford internal collapse now. The saboteurs moved swiftly, attempting to cripple the ship's propulsion. Jamal confronted one in the narrow corridors. A tense fight ensued, metal clashing, desperation driving every move. Alara used her knowledge of the ship's systems to isolate the sabotage, sealing off compartments and rallying loyal crew members. As the fight raged outside and within, a flicker of hope arrived. Lumari emissaries appeared in orbit, bringing reinforcements, ships glowing with ethereal energy, weapons designed not for destruction, but to disable and contain. Their leader, Shailan, hailed the Endurance. We come to uphold the Council's will. The purists must be stopped. With Lumari aid, the tide of battle began to shift. Voss seized the moment. Push forward, break their formation. The coalition fleet faltered, their warships forced into retreat. But victory came at a price. The Endurance suffered catastrophic damage, many crew were lost. The flagship limped toward Earth's orbit, battered but unbroken. On Earth, Prime Minister Malik received the news with grim determination. They came for us with fire, he said, but we will rise from the ashes. Humanity's story is far from over. As the warships retreated, the galaxy watched in stunned silence. Earth had survived the firestorm, but the scars ran deep. In the aftermath, Voss and Alara prepared for what came next, rebuilding trust, strengthening alliances, and preparing for the uncertain path ahead. Alara's voice was steady, but filled with resolve. We've earned a reprieve, but the galaxy's final warning still echoes. We must change, or we will be judged again. Above Earth, the stars shimmered with fragile hope. The galaxy had turned on Earth, but Earth was not yet defeated. The skies above Earth still bore scars from the recent conflict. Trails of burning debris hung like fragile ghosts against the fading stars. Cities flickered with emergency lights, the world bruised but unbowed. Humanity had faced annihilation and survived. Now it faced a future uncertain but full of possibility. Captain Arik Voss stood on the balcony of the newly rebuilt Earth Space Command Tower, gazing up at the stars. The Council's decision echoed in his mind. 5 galactic cycles to prove humanity's worth. It was a steep mountain to climb, but the path was clear. Beside him, Dr. Alara Miles studied a holographic map of the galaxy projected between them. We have allies now. The Lumari have offered guidance and technology. The Coalition's provisional status means oversight and opportunity. Voss nodded. But the purists haven't vanished. We have enemies who would see Earth burned again, too. The ground Prime Minister Malik addressed a crowd gathered in the capital city's square. His voice, broadcast worldwide, was firm but inspiring. Today we rebuild, not just our cities, but our place in the galaxy. We will learn from our past, embrace cooperation, and forge a new future. Humanity is no longer isolated. We stand, united with those who seek peace and progress. The crowd erupted in cheers. Children looked skyward, dreaming of stars rather than wars. Meanwhile, the Endurance floated in Earth's orbit, undergoing repairs. The ship's crew worked tirelessly, their bond forged in fire stronger than ever. Jamal, now promoted to lead, Engineer smiled as he oversaw the installation of new Lumari shield generators. Hard to believe how far we've come, he said to Alara. She smiled back, eyes bright with determination. And how far we still have to go. In the council chambers, Earth's representatives met regularly with delegates from allied factions. Discussions were intense, filled with debates over technology sharing, security protocols, and cultural exchanges. Valtira visited Earth's delegation, her presence a symbol of trust and hope. Your species has taken the first steps, she said softly. The galaxy watches, waiting to see if you will rise to the challenge. But not all was peaceful. Secret purist cells remained active, plotting to undermine Earth's progress. Their leader Kryn had retreated into the shadows, vowing vengeance. Voss and Alara knew vigilance was key. In a quiet moment, Alara confided in Voss. We have the technology, the allies, and the will. But the greatest challenge is changing, the heart of humanity itself. Voss looked out at the stars. We'll face it together. Years passed. Humanity adapted and grew. Earth became a hub of interstellar diplomacy, science, and culture. The quarantine was lifted fully after the probationary period, replaced by a seat at the Galactic Council. Children born during this era knew only a galaxy united, not one divided by fear. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Voss and Alara stood, once more beneath the stars. Look at what we've built, Alara said. Voss smiled. A new dawn. And so from the ashes of near destruction, Earth rose, a beacon of hope in a vast, mysterious galaxy. The galaxy had turned on Earth, but Earth had turned back and changed the stars forever.